to the bone. Watch out, 'cause I'm in my zone.
Hello everyone and welcome along to TSB Stadium, New Plymouth. Taranaki Airs against the Otago Nuggets. And it is going to be an interesting game. Imports abound for these two teams. Marcel Jones out for the Airs. Casey Frank, what does that do for this game?
Well, it certainly affects their rebounding abilities and does make them a little bit smaller in the front line. And his kind of defensive versatility would be extremely valued against this Nuggets lineup that has scoring at every position.
Certainly does. And this is a game that will end round 5 of the Sal's NBL. Proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. And here is how the ladder looks. And we haven't updated it since the game before this one. The Wellington Saints are off the bottom of the table. They just beat the Manawatu Jets. And they have a win, Casey Frank, the first of the season.
Even that one came probably a little bit closer than they would like, but how about the Hawke's Bay Hawks? Big moving weekend for them. 2 wins, vaulting them up just to a tie for first. Of course, the Otago Nuggets today can get the win and move themselves in the clear at the top of the table.
Taranaki on the cusp of the top 6. Top 6 advance to the playoffs. And here is round 6. Looking forward to that game tipping off on Thursday night from ILT Stadium, Southland, the Sharks and the Giants. Tough one for the Saints in Christchurch, and a really interesting one. Could well be a finals preview between the Hawks and the Tuatara in Taradale on Saturday late afternoon, early evening. And for the visitors, the Otago Nuggets, this is the starting 5. You've got Timmins and McCulloch, and then you've just got 3 outstanding imports, and it's probably, arguably, the best starting 5 in the Sal's NBL.
Yeah, I don't even think it's arguable. You look at the advanced stats, they are head and shoulders above the rest of the league with a 5-man rotation right now. And I think a lot of that is because Sam Timmins is import quality and Nikon McCulloch is off to the start of his career.
So I have to preface it arguably, Casey, because I do know you like to argue with me. Here's Brett Matahari.
Another strong win against the Sharks on Friday. What are you doing to keep this winning streak alive?
Look, I think we've just got to make sure we keep on improving and working on ourselves, and you know, shooting the ball well would be nice. See if we can get our 3-point percentage up.
The year's new imports in Douglas and Hilliard, what are you doing to minimise their impact?
Oh, look, I mean, it's a systems thing, so obviously we're working on our systems, and so, you know, hopefully our systems will work tonight against those talented players. I mean, I know Todd knows them well because I think they're all from the same place. So, yeah. And just a shout out to Leash. Happy birthday from Mike and all of us here at the Nuggets.
Cheers, good luck.
Don't know who you are, Leash, but happy birthday and shout out to you. Not sure what the shout out's for, but I hope you're well watching the game. And Brett Matahari has the luxury of a starting 5. And this one's not bad as well for the Airs. Again, punctuated by a centre and a point guard from New Zealand. And you got Carlin Davison at the 3, but Javante Douglas and Anthony Hilliard, 2 really good additions to the Airs.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the shooting ability of Anthony Hilliard is fantastic. And Javante Douglas was here a couple years ago and pretty dominant. What I really like about his first game is he didn't shoot the ball well, but still affected the team in so many ways that they picked up the win.
Here's head coach of the Airs, Trent Adam.
A strong win last week against the Sharks. What are you doing to take through to tonight's game?
We were happy with the speed that we played at offensively. Having a couple extra personnel in the group really allowed us to sort of play at a pace more suitable to us. So we're looking to sort of carry that on, pick up a little bit defensively from last week. We weren't quite as sort of accurate as we'd like to be, and then we'll sort of see how that goes tonight.
Marcel Jones now out tonight. How does this change your game plan?
Yeah, as trying to use Marcel in that forward big spot was really going to be beneficial for us in pick and pop action. So we'll just sort of have to change that a little bit. Aaron's had an outstanding game last week, and we're hoping he can replicate that again for us this week.
Trent Adam, he certainly has a job on his hands tonight. The Nuggets come into the league with an 0-2 start and then reeled off 5 straight wins. And this is the head-to-head. As you can see, they can fill it up. 3rd in the league in scoring.
Yeah, both teams have improved tremendously since they picked up their full contingent of players. You look at the offensive rebound stats there, lower than you would think for the Nuggets, but the Taranaki Steel Formers Airs, it's up there that high, I think due in large part because of the Marcel Jones influence. Without him, it's going to be tough. He won't be on that double-double watch, but that big man battle is one to watch between Timmins and Ty Wynyard, youngsters matchup from the junior ranks, continuing now in the professionals.
Well, Marcel Jones out with a bung toe. That is the official report that I've been given. It is bung, and he cannot play. He's played one game since his return to the Airs. Ty Wynyard as well. It's free agency period in the Aussie NBL, and not just the Aussie League, but also leagues around the world. We're taking notice of the former Kentucky Wildcat, who has recovered from a back injury, and he's in the Pilates. He's got his back exercises on point, and he is looking in fine form in Sal's NBL 2022.
It's been so good to see him revitalize his career. You know, I was there for the start of it when he started his tall black journey. He had a little bit of a bumpy road there for a bit where he might have lost his love for the game, but he has refound it. He's dedicated himself to his conditioning. He's the best he's looked as a professional, and the results are proving themselves out on the court.
Here are your referees for today's game. And just going back to Ty Wynyard, he posted on his Insta story during the week of footage of him, I think about a year ago, where he was at maybe a 3x3 camp or a Tall Blacks camp, and he said basically along the lines of, I can't believe I thought I was in a good frame physically when I was doing this and having fun compared to what I am doing now.
He's lost the equivalency of a small human being, I think, in the last year. It's a testament to the work rate. But it's just, mostly I'm just happy to see him enjoying himself on the court again. There was a stretch there where you could see that he wasn't enjoying himself as much as you want somebody to when they're playing a game. Hopefully that, for a living.
Well, this Otago Nuggets, Sam Timmins as well, they are on fire. Last 5 games, 5-0. They've won by a margin, Casey, of 18 on average, which is outstanding.
Unbelievable the way they've been playing. And, you know, when you see them in person, you'll notice that they haven't really gotten out of second or third gear yet. They occasionally push it up for a possession or two, but this is a team that is well under control at all times. And if the Airs start to push them, I do think the Nuggets have a higher gear that they can reach.
I like the fresh unis the Airs are wearing as well. Going with the black, all black as well. And floor watch tonight, Casey. Not bad from TSB Stadium. Still a hint of other decals on there as well from other sports.
But they're well camouflaged, and you get a loud vocal crowd in the Naki that likes to get behind it, just bouncing off the floor as well as the ball.
I love the fact that Carlin Davidson, who is jumping as well as one of the local youths, brings the ball onto the floor, really making the most of that one.
He looks like a local youth. He's got that local youth look to him.
He's pumped. The Yeti's looking after him. We're underway, and Timmins wins that.
Oh, he stole it. He stole the jump.
Unbelievable. Why would you steal it? You can't be intimidated by Carlin Davidson. The guy can leap out of the building, yes, but Sam Timmins, you've got like 4 to 6 inches on him.
It is, but it's even worse when a big man loses it to a guard then. It affects your confidence, so he was afraid of that, I think. Just jokes. That's not real analysis. We're still having a good time here.
First possession will go to the Airs from TSB Stadium. Shot up on the way, and that is good from Anthony Hilliard, straight on.
First touch, first look is great. I like the action they have is between Hilliard and Ty Wynyard, 2 of their really formidable scorers. You're going to have to watch both of them.
That is denied by the rim from Taj McCall. Elliott again looking to Ty Wynyard down low, and he's hacked.
Oh, what is that?
That's a nice crisp look.
Yeah, really nice drop off coming off at speed. You know, when I saw him play last week, you mentioned he was a bit tired because his flight just got him the day before. Most imports, I think they're fibbing a little bit, but look at how fresh he is today. He might have actually been telling the truth.
That's a good point. Ty Wynyard at the line on the season. He is a 69% foul shooter, misses 2 there. He's a double-double machine, 19.6 points, 10 rebounds a game.
Unfortunate to miss the free throws, but really the big part of that play is getting Sam Timmins his first foul early in this one.
Nice bounce off. Wynyard gets Timmins.
Oh, that was another misplaced hand. Apparently looked pretty close to being on the ball, but apparently might have been some armament in there as well.
These two teams, one of the better rebounding duels in this game. The Nuggets are 3rd on the opponent's rebounding board, and and the Airs are fourth, I should say. So these two teams will crash the glass, and that will be interesting to see who wins the offensive rebound battle. I imagine that will probably go the way of the winning team.
Yeah, it will go a long way to winning that possession game, which is so paramount in this victory today. But, you know, the Taranaki Airs dominated.
Carlin Davidson, he has not shot the ball well from deep, and he will get up shots as well. He averages 5 attempts a game. And that is a high arcing 3, and that is good from Keith Williams.
Really good spacing on that play. When he received the pass, difficult to close out to due to that fact, and giving himself the room to knock down the triple.
Carlin Davidson shooting us 19% from deep.
He's getting decent looks, and I like that he's confident in shooting the basketball, because that is certainly an aspect he has to develop to reach his level that he wants to.
Timmins wins that matchup on the spin move by Wynyard. Here comes Withers. Williams.
Nice D there by Javante Douglas.
Really good. Looking up to Carlin Davidson with the alley-oop play.
Well, that is why he is such an exciting prospect. In transition, he has the ability to fly above everybody at all times.
Turnover. Here's Javante. It's Carlin again, and that was broken up by Withers. Here comes Nico McCall into Williams. Keith Williams on the fall away over Hilliard. Tough shot. Rebound goes to Williams. He gets his own shot and puts it in.
Well, really strong play there, but he was going to be hit with a delay of game warning for grabbing the basketball. Playing a little bit of bully ball, trying to back things down, but that stick-to-itiveness, the second effort, getting himself back to give the Nuggets the lead once again.
Hilliard playing the point here. Hilliard for 3. Timmins with another rebound. Timmins can fade on the rebounding duties sometimes in some games. He can take a bit of a back seat on possessions. And he's a very good passer of the ball as well. After about just under 4 assists a game. But tonight, I imagine that he'll be focusing on the glass as Taranaki get a stop.
Yeah, he's lost some of the offensive load that he had to carry last season with the influx of talent they had, but still so valuable to the offense. Another block.
Another one on Ty Wynyard. Winning that matchup so far. That is Nico McCulloch with another high arcing 3. And Otago raced out to a 9-5 lead here.
How about the way he ran the lane to chase that down in the corner? Ignore Sam Timmins calling for it underneath and bangs home the triple.
Wynyard. Again going on Timmins. Gets the better of that matchup.
Well, I like that determined post move much more than the first couple, trying to use his quickness and spin off of. He is so strong. He just challenges Sam Timmins' strength on that one right through the chest for the finish.
McCulloch. Comes Roger. Javante. And then left the feet. Put the ball on the floor and picked it back up again, and that is deemed a travel.
Not really sure what he's trying to argue about on that one. Just didn't see Nico McCulloch coming up in that secondary transition defense to take away a passing angle. That is why young players out there that you always hear coaches yelling at you, don't jump to pass. But if you got a target, you're okay, just jump anyway.
So Javante Douglas with the turnover. He is commit the most turnovers in the league at 17.25 on average. There's Nico McCulloch off the rim. And that is going to stay with the Nuggets. Sam Timmins, a breaker this coming NBL season. Free agency is open. Tom Vodanovic named to play for the Breakers. Dan Fotu as well. Vodanovic getting the win today with the Saints. Dan Fotu last night for the Tuatara. Wouldn't mind seeing Ty Wynyard as well.
Fantastic to see the local talent influx coming in.
That's a tough shot from Keith Williams. My goodness.
He is locked in early offensively finding himself a little bit of space and letting it fly with his jumpers.
Javante Douglas answers with a transition three.
Right back in transition. Not a great defensively matched up are the Nuggets, and that gives Douglas the space to hit it.
14-11 in his only game this season. There's Aitchison with a rebound, an offensive board.
Yeah, I would like to see Josh Aitchison look up and try and finish that one. Not a bad look outside, though.
Javante Douglas, and we've got a push on Aaron Bailey-Knoll. Auntie with two hands in the back of Sam Timmons.
And you're going to have to get active are the Airs with Ty Wynyard on the bench, giving up a bit of size in that Timmons matchup. Trying to combat that with physicality, but gets pinged by the officiating crew on that one.
Already 8 rebounds to 4 for the Nuggets. Here is Withers. And Aaron Bailey-Knoll almost got the steal. Oh, Javante just pokes it away with the reverse high off the glass. Oh my goodness. And we're going to delay a game warning, but that was something special.
Well, love the defensive tenaciousness by the Airs, getting in those passing lanes and not giving up on the play. First Aaron Bailey-Knoll, then Douglas gets out there, beats the Nuggets to it, and the circus finish. The dipsy-do underneath for 2. See, that's the steal, and look at this brilliant sweeping layup. Anthony Hilliard mad at the ball.
4:50 to go in this first quarter. Taranaki on that reverse had the lead, 12-11. And Hilliard making his presence felt in the last game against the Sharks at 28 points. Shot 5-11 from 3. Trent Adam be happy to see the reinforcements arrive. Just the one game from Marcel Jones. No Marcel tonight, who is an important legend with the Airs.
And that 5 for 11 from 3 for Anthony Hilliard in the last game out. So important. This was a team prior to the arrival of the imports that was shooting 21% from the three-point line. That has increased considerably since their addition. And today, how about Keith Williams averaging 15.6 points on the season, already 7 at this time out, halfway through the first. He is looking good early.
Well, these two teams are probably the worst of the three-point shooting teams in the league. I think the Manawatu Jets are last. The Airs are 9th. They've got up to 26%, Casey, now.
Not bad at all.
And the Nuggets are 8th with 30%. Opponent's three-point percentage, they're not very good defending the three-point line either. So the O-board's in the possession game, but also who's going to connect from deep? And I tell you what, they're loving the three-point shot are the Nuggets. Especially Withers and Williams. They will get threes up. And on the reverse,
Matt Bardsley
in the game.
He has really worked himself into a solid contributor for this team. Just so versatile defensively.
I love the fact that Matt Bardsley, he was the final pick in the 2020 draft for the Nuggets. Very good player at university level, not college in the States, but university level in New Zealand. The 5-on-5 and 3x3 for the Otago University team is Williams, and he impressed so much that he got himself a contract.
Well done, Bardsley. A little sloppy there from the Airs, and that's one of their bugaboos. They got to do a bit better job taking care of the basketball.
The accountant Aitchison gets that.
It's tough against the Nuggets. They are so quick in the passing lanes. McCall, great hands, quick.
Tajir McCall misses that.
Douglas is really beating him to some basketballs in this one.
Withers pulls that down. Withers attempts 10 threes a game for 32.7%. And Bardsley
beats Hayes Walker on the baseline. McCall with the vision, kicking it up. And just right now, the last couple of plays, just beating the Airs down the court.
In fact, these imports for the Nuggets attempt 23s a game. Wynyard misses that. Nuggets get a stop. It's tight here in the first, coming up 3 minutes to go.
And it feels like Taranaki has gotten sped up just a bit offensively in the last few possessions.
Here's Williams, got the lane. Javante Douglas got him on the back. And one for Keith Williams.
Excellent awareness by Keith Williams there. He came off that screen out of the corner and realized Douglas was on his back. And you see the way he used that change of speed to bait him into the foul, into that contact on his back on the made layup. Just a really clever play as he has a chance to reach double figures with this free throw.
Keith Williams, the Bearcat from the University of Cincinnati. It's his first year as a pro. He's been named to the American Athletic All-Conference second team. 1,156 career points for the Bearcats. It is a very good program in the NCAA Division I. Feels like they're perennial.
They have been good
March
for
Madness team.
a long, long time, that is for sure. Going back to the Big O.
Oscar Robertson. He's averaged casually a triple-double and probably had like 4 seasons where he was literally a decimal place off from averaging it. And again, Keith Williams. The Otago Nuggets are loving Keith Williams attacking the rim.
12 points already. He has changed this game with his aggressiveness those last couple of possessions.
Wow, stepping through a Scott Telfer, and he's hammered. And he'll go to the Racine line for his troubles.
Well, a broken play offensively, but getting that whistle blown and earning a trip to the free throw line, I think exactly what Taranaki needs at this point. They need to slow things down, get themselves set in the half court defensively, and stop this little run that Otago's on. I believe it's a 7-0 run at the moment.
Let him know the stats, Case. Scott Telfer, really good free throw shooter at 80%. Both these teams not particularly good. Nuggets just 59% from the foul line for 9th in the league.
That's almost as bad as last.
65. You might as well be last if you're shooting sub 60. Telfer, good on the second.
Of token pressure, not really affecting the Nuggets. They are pretty much getting into whatever they want to offensively.
Withers really hasn't got started going yet, but he's been amongst it all, and as soon as we say that, he jacks a 3, he can't get it to drop, and it's Auntie with the rebound. Affectionately known as Auntie around the league. Been in the league since I think about the 1920s, it feels like.
He still looks fresh though.
He certainly does. It's sort of almost like a renaissance. It's Ty Wynyard hustling hard. He had Sam Timmons fighting for it. Timmons goes down. Carlin gives it up to Scott Telfer. He has time. And now Aitchison goes down. And
looks like a foul on Carlin Davidson.
Maybe Ty Wynyard, I believe.
And Ty Wynyard saying, he is just jumping on into me. How can you call a foul on me? And I just seen it live. I think Josh Aitchison is pretty fortunate not to get called for the foul there. Nice fight by Taranaki on that possession. But is this turning into an unsportsmanlike?
I believe so.
Well, how about that?
Just from where we are, we've missed that call. Apologies, but it certainly does look like it.
Ayers fans thinking that's a little bit of karma, striking back on the free throw miss.
I believe Nico McCulloch received the foul on Ty Wynyard.
I believe it's Josh Aitchison actually received the foul, and so he'll be going to the line. Nico McCulloch, but it must have been a technical on Ty Wynyard for responding to it. We're just trying to confirm who that technical was on.
For the play-by-play. So Aitchison will shoot 2 after Nico McCulloch shot the technical. They missed the technical in the first here with Aitchison. And he misses the second, so Taranaki, a little bit of justice there for the Airs. Here's Telfer. Nice pass. A little bit low, though.
I just really telegraphed it. You know, I was looking at Douglas coming off that on ball the entire time, so multiple Nuggets following that eye line to disrupt it.
Another turnover. And that will be turnover number 4. Telfer pokes it. Keith Williams.
Oh, he's
Almost
harassing him out there.
dribbled it back over half. And Telfer almost got that. Scrappy from Scott Telfer. That is what you want to see coming off the bench.
Really love that possession from Scott Telfer there. Doesn't stop harassing Keith Williams, handling the ball the entire possession. Taps it out, stays around, taps it out again. Just really sticking with him, being an irritant, making it difficult for, right now, the leading scorer in the game to keep the ball in hand.
Douglas, long 2. Withers skies in for the rebound. It felt like it was coming from the Rosine line.
That was athletic.
Here's Withers. Gets Javonte Douglas up and tipped away. It stays with the Nuggets. Jack Andrew out there in the middle. The man bun.
I really do get the feeling when I watch the Nuggets that they're just occasionally pressing on the gas pedal.
Yeah, when they do, they can fill it up as well. Here's McCulloch. And
Oh,
that is called a foul.
it's staying here, is it?
It is. Baseline referee, is it Telfer with the foul there?
McCulloch, I think, pretty fortunate. There was some contact in there, but as he was the aggressor on that possession, a lot of it was created by the forcefulness of his drive.
So McCulloch is back at the line. This is his last free throw attempt at the Rosine line. Makes good on that one. Nico McCulloch is a 76% foul shooter. Good on the second. So the Nuggets lead is up to 6 with 35 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Just starting to find a little bit of space, but I think an important last 35 seconds here for Taranaki. They need to really stretch out this possession, try and come away with a bucket and a stop.
Carla Davidson. Hilliard. Four to shoot. Hilliard, contested jumper. Aaron Bailey-Noel can't get that. Nice work on the glass, but they come up empty-handed, and it will be the Nuggets to end this first quarter with Withers for 3. No dice. And the Airs survived that possession from the Nuggets, but it will be the Nuggets, the visitors, who lead after one, 22-16.
You got Keith Dickens, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, sir. Awesome. Don't forget to give a unit and get the t-shirt. Unbelievable. Good to see you. The peers on the floor. Nice.
So the Nuggets, the visitors, looking to go to 6-0 after their first 2 losses on this run, and they are in town. New Plymouth and the Taranaki Airs.
And a pretty solid first quarter. Reasonably even statistically for both teams, not really sharing the ball or turning it over. 4 turnovers and 3 turnovers between the 2 teams. Neither team has really been able to separate itself much.
Withers, tough finish. Carlin Davidson was right there with him, and he gets him as he helps him up. There's 2 athletes contesting a lob.
And that is the value of having Sam Timmons' passing ability as a big, especially in that high post. Puts it up in a spot where Todd Withers had a chance at it, and it's difficult to put it in a spot where Carlin Davidson doesn't. Looks like Withers pretty much okay, just taking his time.
Withers, by way of the Adelaide 36ers in the latest round of the NBL, average 8-4. He's also been in the G League for the Grand Rapids Drive. He's been in Bologna in the Italian League, where he averaged 10-4. So far in his 5 games for the Nuggets, 16-10, with 10 3-point attempts a game. And that stat gets me every time I say it.
It must be fun to let him fly like that, but you know, he's playing a solid role here, not being asked to do a lot except shoot that perimeter jump shot, and with the offensive talent that surrounds him, he is getting a lot of opportunities as that man out on the wing.
Hilliard tied up. Withers with the steal. He's also really good at defense as well. What a look. Timmons bobbled it though. And just a little strong.
Just a perfect drop, unfortunate.
Who's in the corner? It's Hilliard. Aaron Bailey-Noel, another offensive rebound. That is the experience of Aaron Bailey-Noel. Just fires it off Nuggets, but he knows just whereabouts the ball has gone, because he's probably seen the ball bounce every way you can possibly have in a game of basketball in his career.
Nobody's seen more balls bounce in the TSB arena than Aaron Bailey-Noel, would be my guess. But what fantastic effort to retain possession.
Davison steps into a 3. That looks much better on the release.
Yeah, and still confident with it. Love to see that not the greatest early season start hasn't affected his mindset in shooting it when he's got the open look.
Timmons pushed off Noel and no call, and then we got a turnover on the baseline.
Sam Timmons also, once again, struggling to catch the ball, just bounced around. Had he been able to secure that one, would have been a surefire 2. Instead, an unforced turnover.
Ahi in the game, number 11 for the Nuggets. Picking up Richie Roger, now it's Hilliard. Fanti. He needs the virtue of having long arms like Todd Withers and instincts. Oh, and Javonte Douglas just broke that up.
That's 3 straight turnovers for Sam Timmons.
Carlin Davidson liked the look of the last one, so he went for another one. Empty-handed. And it's Ahi with the ball.
Coach Brett Matahara, he needs a good possession here. They need to value the basketball. And Aaron Bailey-Noel gets called for a foul that, if called consistently, he would play about 2 seconds in his career.
What was he doing off the ball in case?
Not much. He just looked like a bit of contact. Just looked like he was trying to get the big fella a little bit further out the box, but a bit too much contact for the liking of the crew.
Well, a good time for the Nuggets and Brett Matahari to talk about it. After some careless possessions, throwing the ball away. Trent Adam and his coaching staff, with Peto Cameron there as well as Brett Matahari. Just looking for a bit of focus. Must be hard to keep guys on the edge, coaching-wise, when you're winning by an average of 18 points and on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah, I mean, it can be, but you got to have better focus than that on the game at hand. You've got a 5-point lead, and it's one thing to have a bad turnover. You know, you make a mistake, you recover from it. But when you go 1, 2 possessions, 3 possessions in a row without getting any kind of a look at the basket, you've got to, everybody on the court's got to point that finger at themselves and say, hey, this time I'm going to make sure that we do a better job. And you know, this is a team with the talent it has that has championship aspirations. And you can't have those 3-4 possessions where you get nothing out of it for a time and you let the other team off the hook and when the games really matter.
McCulloch for 3. That's nothing but net. Some high arcing shots from the Nuggets in this game, and Nico McCulloch nails that one.
Might have to raise the roof to get the next one up. That moon ball there never looked like missing and never even hit the rim.
That one goes down. It feels like when the Nuggets hit a 3, the Airs are compelled to nail a 3 as well. Hilliard with that one.
He hasn't had a lot of looks, but when he does get a look at that triple without a little bit of space, he can knock him down easy.
6 for him. Keith Williams tries to answer. There's Douglas up to Roger. Carlin Davison, look out. Slapped away though. Good defense from the Nuggets. McCulloch looks up, and Jack Andrew.
Oh, keep playing. No, the ball was already out. Looked like Nico McCulloch was in between two minds there of who to pass to. But once again, unforced error. They get back, they play solid defense, have that 5-point lead, and just get nothing out of a possession. You just need to have a bit better focus in that.
Here's Carlin. Davison has Nico McCulloch on him. Javante Douglas comes up with a screen, and Jack Andrew beat Carlin Davison up there by the rim. We're going to foul before shot attempt.
See where they're calling.
Are they going to call on the continuation? Was he in the process?
What?
Looks like he was, so they will go to the Racine line, or was it going to be on the base? It is on the baseline.
Okay. But nice athletic play by Jack Andrew, regardless, trying to take that attempt away.
He's rewarded by going to the bench because Timmons has had a spell. Jack Andrew, he's had some nice minutes off the bench.
He's been valuable
For the Nuggets. Giving the big man Sam Timmons a rest.
Oof. He wore that one.
Javante just barreled into Taj McCall. There has been some really nice defensive plays by Taj McCall. If you love watching defense, and let's be honest, who doesn't love watching defense? Keep your eye on McCall because he is really good.
He set himself up so well to take that charge. Javante Douglas arguing the point that he's flopping. There may be a bit of flop there, but he certainly set himself in position to wear that forearm swinging through. Fantastic job, and I love McCall's defense. He is a talented player that is giving this team exactly what it needs.
Here's Keith Williams, almost lost his footing. Good defense from Davison.
Wouldn't mind seeing McCall involve himself a little bit more in the offense. He tends to do that when they really need a bucket.
Hilliard for 3.
He's getting hot now, shooting the ball with a bit of confidence as he continues to find space.
And he has a steal. Hilliard has 9, he's tied up. Nico McCulloch got all of Anthony Hilliard.
As he is wont to. Nico McCulloch. And we see the handoff. Withers goes underneath and tries to challenge, but that is just too much time for Anthony Hilliard. He has got a quick release.
Now, Withers,
I think there might have been a technical foul called.
The crowd reacted, and Withers has his palms up in the air. Brett Matahari discussing it. And that's the end of the discussion because the referee walked away.
Well, the discussion's happening on the court. The Nuggets struggling here in the second quarter. As Taranaki is keeping within touch distance and has the opportunity here to get just a wee bit closer.
27-25. This Airs team is much improved with Douglas and Hilliard in the mix. Ty Whittier really hasn't had a lot of touches though. He was obviously high usage rate for him through the start of the season.
You know, there's been a few games this year where I think Ty Whittier's been a little bit lost in the shuffle. In particular, You know, there's been a few games he's come out for a half and just hasn't gotten the touches down low, and the team makes a concerted effort from there to keep getting it, and he picks up the performance. But you know, the big fellas, we can't pass it to ourselves. Somebody's got to look out for him. So somebody on the court, you know, who's playing that point guard position has to be aware of who needs to eat and what time's feeding.
Well, we said that maybe the possession game off the offensive glass would be the difference. As Hilliard is at the Rosine line to shoot a technical. It makes good. Well, it's just 3 offensive rebounds apiece, so these two teams keeping it even. And Hilliard can make it even.
Yeah, the Nuggets don't send a ton of people to the offensive glass. It's normally just one. They're more concerned about the transition defensive game, but nice job by the Nuggets so far in this one, controlling the defensive glass, keeping the Taranaki Mountaineers from really affecting the game too much in that area.
So Nico McCulloch was called for an unsportsmanlike foul.
Oh, early.
Not a technical, that's why he shot 2. They get the ball and they have the lead.
How about that rebound there by Ty Wynyard, matched up on Timmons, just beats him to it. Taranaki on a roll here in the second quarter.
Withers, good contest.
Oh, no, a little bit of contact. No
Quite
call.
a bit. Hilliard, Douglas got some of them. And Hilliard can't convert that. McCall with the rebound. Tried to get past Roger, but Roger was there right beside him.
That's solid defense in transition.
And McCall fouled it. And
Jerry McCall, he just can imprint himself on the game whenever he wants to. He is out here just being the fulcrum for the offense, getting guys involved, play after play, but you see it. They're down 2. Well, I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to get fouled or I'm going to get to the ball.
we've seen that in the second half of games with these imports that the Nuggets have. It could be any one of them who just decides, oh, okay, I'm going to shift up a gear. I'm going to punch it up into 4th.
And it's a great thing to be able to call upon. And but it's a dangerous game to put yourself in a position when it does have to be called upon.
Another tie at 29, coming up to the midway point of the second quarter.
To get in there.
There's Taj McCall. Wynyard hustled back. Withers in transition. Roger with the rebound.
Excellent looks there.
Richie Roger.
The difference in the look in the transition game between those two is we see Douglas with the foul that he didn't really want to make, but that's the 5th personal, so Withers will be shooting free throws. Not what you want to do, 90 feet from the basket, but on those last 2 possessions, Withers in transition has tons of space after the kick back from McCall. The other way, Rogers just dribbles it up, doesn't let anybody touch and pulls it with the defender pretty close to him. Need to move that ball, let the ball find some energy, let that gravity pull defenses with it. Get the ball through more hands if you're the Naki.
Timmons caught a errant elbow on that play as well. Withers good on the first. And he is a 77% foul shooter.
3, 2, 1, and
Otago at the line. 9 of 11. Make it 10 of 12.
And the Airs worked hard to get themselves back into the ball game and even get themselves a little bit of distance. But just as suddenly as they've taken the lead, the Nuggets look to have wrestled control of the momentum once again.
And we've got an offensive foul. Richie Roger.
Looked to me like Aaron Bailey-Noah was reasonably set. There was a lot of contact as McCulloch was trying to fight through the screen, but just gonna have to be more aware of that from now on.
Timmons. What's the catch? Keith Williams.
Strong.
Real strong.
Man, just
If there's ever a thing that's called a Bearcat, that looks like Keith Williams. Hilliard spinning, creating. Telfer. And there we've got a push on Aaron Bailey-Knoll. He got one in the back. And again, he just knew where to be.
A lot of whistles being blown right now as it's getting a little bit chippy, and Aaron Bailey-Knoll always knows where to be when the ball goes up. That's on the glass. He is tremendous in his pursuit of the offensive rebounds.
And that last offensive foul was on Aaron Bailey-Knoll. But he draws one there on the Nuggets. Javante Douglas and Keith Williams just a little bit too happy with the hands on the double.
Yeah, but that's bad offense. The ball comes in and it never even reaches the middle of the court. The defense can just stay completely set on the weak side, sitting there for help. They got pretty fortunate with the reach and fall foul bailing them out with a really short shot clock. Need to learn the lesson from the last possession and implement it immediately.
Richie Rogers.
A little bit of activity behind him, but nonchalantly drops it in.
And Timmins rocks the rims at TSB Stadium in Taranaki.
With some power. And I love Tajiri McCall taking a little bit off that delivery to make it more catchable for Timmins. Just whistles. Pinging everybody right now. A bit of a touch foul there. We've got free throws for the rest of this quarter for everybody as we see Nikhil McCulloch barrel through. Aaron Bailey-Knoll giving Rogers enough space for the jumper.
Not a lot of continuity in this second quarter, Casey, with these whistles.
Yeah, I mean, it's a physical game. Taranaki's a physical team. They're trying to get in, trying to take advantage of that physicality, but the Nuggets aren't taking a backward step from anybody, so both teams getting a little bit scrappy. In a physical game like that, you know, the refs can try and control it with the whistle, or they can take a little bit of pressure off in that and let the teams play. As of now, it looks like they're trying to control the game and keep that level of physicality down.
So the Nuggets, it's Williams and Telfer. Discuss about the distance he's supposed to give somebody when they inbound the ball. Referee wanted no part of it, and a ball to the Nuggets with a 2-point lead. Timmins with Aaron Bailey-Knoll on him. Telfer comes over. Keith Williams on the weak side, gives it to Withers. McCulloch. That's short, well short as well.
Solid offense, good unselfish play. Just got to knock it down.
Hilliard from about 16.5. McCall with the rebound.
Contests the shot, pulls down the rebound. It's about execution for the Nuggets.
Telfer got Timmins there. Did he get him on a finger? Because that looks like that's smart. Or did he wind him? I think he winded him.
Interesting. In the solar plexus. Taking his time to get that breath back.
Timmins at the line. It's pretty ugly, to be honest. 52%. 52%, man.
Oh, the shot. Oh, okay. I just thought you were insulting.
No.
I thought the lighting was bad there.
He's a handsome man. He's got a fantastic mustache.
Well, fantastic is a bit strong.
But that's a strong mustache. He's going with a slight beard.
I'm going to say the mustache is mid.
Full head of hair.
Yeah.
He's almost
okay.
7 foot.
Hair's nice. Yeah, height, you're accurate with the height.
Got good long arms. Just that he's not a good foul shooter.
Okay.
52% is horrible. It's ugly.
That's not good. It is not good in the slightest.
I mean, gets the foul there. Aaron Bailey-Knoll. Apologies.
No, that's just an unfortunate defensive error by Timmins there, gambling and letting the straight line drive right to the rim. And with that size advantage, you just have to stay in between the ball and the rim. And Aaron Bailey-Knoll's having a little jabber. There's a lot going on at the moment with the referees.
A lot of opinions been given.
Yeah, they're calling the fouls, but they're going to have to put a little bit of this complaining. They're going to have to nip it in the bud soon. Wouldn't be surprised to see a technical foul on someone.
Ballynol.
Still 36-35. We are slowly reaching the end of the second quarter.
McCulloch.
And just once again, poor offense. Got to get the ball through hands, make these defenses work.
Hilliard, the game's leading scorer. He gives it up. Telfer had it poked away by Jared McCall. Keith Williams can't corral it, and it will stay with Taranaki with 9.6 on the shot clock. Was that 5.6? My eyes deceive me, Case.
That's tough to sell from here. But we have a timeout to the Airs to discuss things. As I think Coach Trent Adams feels this possession has a little bit of weight to it. With 2 minutes left of a sloppy game, to be fair. Disjointed, to say the least. A lot of whistles, neither team able to find much of a rhythm here in the second quarter due to that disjointedness.
Well, Brett Medahari will be happy with the scoring and the 5 wins. They average now for the season close to 83 a game, just a shade under. But right now, just 36, make it 37. We've just had a score tick over. So 37 points with 2 minutes 19 to go. Taranaki, points per game, they average 77, but they opponents are scoring 83, which is what the Nuggets on average score as well. But yeah, it's just a disjointed physical game at the moment with a lot of whistles having to be blown.
Yeah, I think both teams would prefer a little bit more of a free-flowing game. But I think the stop starts for a team that's playing its second game of the weekend in Otago. That does give them a bit of advantage. You know, they're not really having to reach deep to find that second win because they probably haven't even gotten much of a sheen up yet.
Carlin Davidson with about 3 on the shot clock. Tough drive, ties it up at 37. Keith Williams on the reverse, too strong. Yeah. Would get back in the game with the rebound.
Excellent counterattack. Just have to convert on the look.
Hilliard with a 3.
I do not like that on-ball defense on Hilliard. You have to be showing on him. If you're playing those drops and giving him space for the step back, he is going to hit that with great consistency.
Anthony Hilliard now has 16 for the half. It's the game's leading scorer. It's going to stay with the Nuggets with 5.4 on the shot clock.
Tajiri McCall is serving up filet mignon to these guys that are used to eating Mickey D's. Got to get ready for these deliveries, guys. These are some feasts he's putting up for you big fellas. Be ready to finish.
It is time for another timeout. Neither coach happy with the way this is looking.
How about the Naki in the lead? Anthony Hilliard, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Keith Williams leading the charge for the Nuggets, 12 points and 2 boards. Neither team shooting what you want to. Taranaki 39%, the Nuggets 36%. The 3-point shot for the Naki, keeping them in it right now, 6 for 15 at 40. That's the best shooting they've done from anywhere on the court.
Anthony Hilliard, he has been around since 09 as a professional. He's been a Belarusian Cup winner.
Oh.
He's been a French Pro B champion.
It's a very solid league, Pro B in France. It's actually a jumping point for a lot of guys into other leagues.
He's played in Uruguay. He's played in Portugal, Lebanon. And he is...
That is a professional resume.
That is a guy Will travel with ball as Nico McCulloch says ball don't lie.
Brilliant call on the out of bounds by Brett Matahare. Excellent execution to get a beautiful look on the baseline. Illegal screen called. When you're setting a screen for Anthony Hilliard, you have to be aware not to set an illegal screen. He is putting a lot of pressure on defenses. You just got to give him a little bit of advantage. You can't afford to take that foul.
Tough shot from McCulloch.
5 straight for him, and this time off the on ball. Really using the screen well to find that space and takes advantage of it.
There's a wild pass from Carlin Davison.
And that's the thing he needs to take out of his game. You know, he's a young player, he's been given a lot of freedom, but he has aspirations to make that jump to the next level. And those are the mental errors that have to be eliminated when you want to play at a higher level professionally.
Keith Williams on the drive.
That's strong. Strong drive there. Rejects the screen, and Hilliard relaxes a bit for the straight line take off the glass by Williams.
Hilliard. That's a tough 3 to take.
And you see the Nuggets have picked up the energy here since that timeout. Finished very strong in the quarter. If they get another bucket here, momentum will well and truly have swung their way.
Shot clock is off. Here's McCall, hit him with a hezzy.
Oh
and Jack Andrew is the recipient. Oh my goodness.
Don't be so mean.
Why are you doing that to him? Oh my goodness. Taj McCall with the dish and Jack Andrew with the finish, and the Nuggets end strong. They lead after one half, 46-40.
How we doing? How we doing?
A strong finish to the end of the half for the Otago Nuggets. They're shooting 44% and lead 46-40, Casey Frank.
Yeah, it's been a pretty topsy-turvy game, but when they need to, they've been able to take control. Not shooting the ball particularly well, but they finished with a flourish towards the end. First, Nika McCulloch, but mostly defensively. When they pick up that area of the game, it relates to fast break baskets, and that's when they really have the advantage.
Certainly, you just look at some of the stats. The rebound count as well is pretty even, 22 to 20, and the points, Hilliard and Williams, as you mentioned. Williams just went up a gear near the end, didn't he?
He certainly did, and I think we saw the physicality he can bring to the defensive end, but also those drives to the basket. He is strong out on the wing. One thing to notice in points, both teams not really getting the ball. Ty Wynyard only 4, Sam Timmons not even on the top scorers list.
Yeah, Ty Wynyard just 2 of 6 from the floor. Sam Timmons happy to obviously run his part of the offense, but just the 2 shot attempts for Sam Timmons. 5 points, 3 rebounds. Ty Wynyard 4 points, 5 rebounds for him. There was a much anticipated big man matchup. Hasn't really eventuated.
No, a lot of attention down there to Jerry McCall, doing a nice job as the fulcrum of the offense, getting everyone else involved. I do like it when he's a bit more aggressive offensively, but decent job for the Nuggets sharing the ball. I think Taranaki could do a little bit more work in that area. Big fellas that is, plural, as both the bigs get a block and seeing the work of the tough D as well.
Bunch of steals already in this game. 6 for the Airs, and it's 5 for the Nuggets. And just look at the workload that, say, Keith Williams, he's played 18 minutes. Withers and McCall matching almost that production. If he ticks under 18, and Anthony Hilliard just 33 seconds rest in that first half. He'll need to have a pretty big second half because the Nuggets look like they've got gears to step up with, and we've seen it before with this Nuggets team.
Yeah, they've got somewhere to go, but Naki will be looking for their second win in a row at home and pumped to get it. Whichever team comes into the second half, executes to a higher level, and takes care of the basketball is going to put themselves in the place to get the victory.
We'll be back after the break. The Otago Nuggets, I should say, 46-40 are the lead. 46-40, the Otago Nuggets lead Taranaki Airs from TSB Stadium in New Plymouth. Sal's NBL action, proudly presented by GJ Gardner-Holmes. Trent Adam and the Airs, they have done a pretty good job on this. A couple of the imports for the Otago Nuggets. Not Keith Williams, he's got loose. But the other two, Casey.
Yeah, there are two ways to look at it. They're down 6, but they've done a great job on Todd Withers and DeJaren McCall. Combined 0 for 8 from the field. If you toss in Sam Timmons there, that's 1 for 10 between the three of those. That trio of starters. So you'd love that defense, but then you look at the scorecard and realize, well, these guys haven't even gotten going yet, and we're still down 6.
Exactly. The Nuggets, they have been fire over the last 5 games, 5-0, winning by an average margin of 18 for Brent Matahari and his band of merry men, who do have a pretty good schedule. They've got the Airs today, and then they've got the Giants at home. They do travel to Auckland to play the Tuatara, but also have the Rams and the Tuatara again in Dunedin. So 3 of their next 5 at home. And for the Airs, they've got a great run. They've got the Saints and Tuatara at home. Those are 2 very tough teams. The Saints finally got their mojo, getting the Manawatu Jets before this game. The Hawks away, and then they've got the Jets in a bit of a derby game. So the Otago Nuggets just need to step up a little bit.
And the third quarter has been a time when the Nuggets, in this 5-game winning streak, they have taken control of basketball games. They've tended to cruise down into the fourth quarter with the lead well in hand, but these first couple of minutes, if the Airs can come out and just really have a big swing, get out, lift their level of physicality, and most importantly is lift their level of execution. No more unforced turnovers, no more messing around and having mistakes, but focus and lock down. And these 2 minutes set themselves and set the tone for the game. That will go a long way towards putting themselves in position where they want to be to win this ball game.
It feels like it will be the imports will have a say in the result of this game. Big man matchup hasn't quite eventuated how we thought it would play out. Battle of the Glass has been pretty even as well.
Yeah, there's not a lot statistically between the two. I think for the most part, it's been the timeliness of the errors. When in the midst of runs, and the inability to take advantage of the opposition's errors when those do happen as well. The team that picks up that level of execution is be able to pick up that difficult to pin down timeliness piece. They will put themselves in the position they want to be.
12 points from turnovers for the Nuggets. They've got 4 blocks as well, so just getting those extra possessions and chances, making the difference here. Carlin Davidson has the ball. Everyone's sort of standing around a little bit. Richie Roger looks off Ty Wynion, and Ty Wynion can't get the putback to go in.
Just the Lone Ranger on the boards, not a lot of help. Slowly developing play that the Nuggets didn't really give a lot of respect to.
I tell you what, Taj McCall has an athlete on him in Carlin Davidson. It's just a different block he probably isn't quite used to in the Sal's NBL, having a guy who's almost as long and as quick as him.
Yeah, athletically, Carlin Davidson profiles at that top level, and I love the challenge that Coach Fred Adams has just put in front of him. You guard this guy, put some pressure on him, affect that offense.
Hilliard easy as you like. Snuck on the baseline for the reverse.
Looked wide open there. Normally catches down there garner a lot of attention, but the quick drive to the other end, way too fast than the Nuggets were able to react.
Game's leading scorer at 18, and then Keith Williams matches him with 18 on that make.
That is a strong finish once again. He has an ability, not a high riser, but he just floats and holds his position for the finish.
Richie Rogers tied up by Nico McCulloch. Two quality New Zealand point guards going at it.
You see that catch on the baseline.
There's just nothing there from the Nuggets.
That's just poor defense. You got to close that gap earlier. You have to challenge somebody. You can't just get in a zone defense like that. See the receiver catch it in that short corner and go uncontested to the cup. You know, you hope when you're a more talented team that you can come out of the third quarter, and that's when you really turn the screws. But instead, they've just opened the door, and Naki's coming right through it.
Nuggets still just holding them off at arm's length. Keith Williams, Carlin Davison is now on him, working with Timmins. Davison gets a hand to the rebound, but it falls to the Nuggets. Withers gives it to McCall. McCall, left hand. Timmins tips. Another one. No dice.
A lot of opportunities, but Taranaki is able to absorb it.
Winion facing up. Here we go. Winion on Timmins. And then Douglas takes down Timmins. And we got a foul. It's called on.
Wynyard complaining about the contact, but the foul on Javante Douglas.
Douglas, who just came in and monstered him.
Yeah, I don't think he was complaining. I think he was just more lamenting the situation. It's like, I didn't really mean to just truck through the big fella. Ty Wynyard, that battle with Timmins, this size of each other is certainly affecting the opponent. Neither is able to play with that normal sense of freedom that they normally have.
It's been a grind, this game so far between two teams. Pretty evenly matched. Talked about it. These two fives really match up as Keith Williams continues to score for the Nuggets in the third quarter. He's 20 now. They are an evenly matched five. But the bigs, the length of the imports, you see there, just a turnover.
Just what kind of turnover is that? It's just so poor.
Withers picks up the foul there, but yeah.
It's just a lack of attention to detail that's concerning. As we see the execution there, simple execution, easy bucket. It's an easy game, and both teams right now are making it more difficult on themselves, really, than the opposition.
Great end on shot on the GJ Gardner replay. Williams' bucket, and Ty Wynyard bustling through.
Right. Does a nice fake with the head and shoulders. We see a quick replay of it, the finish there.
Davison, Nuggets turn it over. Here's Hilliard. Hilliard with the right. That drops. Hilliard and Williams going bucket for bucket. Both have 20 now.
And we see some words from Carlin Davidson with Keith Williams over on the far wing as well. It's getting chippy.
McCulloch. 3 airs around there for the rebound. Oh, great look. Telfer gets that to drop. And we're tied up at 50 with 3.5 gone in the third.
Well executed there. Freeman with the finish down low is using his strength.
Excuse me, that was Freeman. Apologies. Wow. Taj McCall, no whistle on that one. He stays down. And Todd Withers, that's just easy for him on Richie Rogers' layup attempt.
Watching this game, I'm not sure who needs a timeout. Somebody does, because
Taj McCall does.
Otago is, the word that comes to mind is just lackadaisical.
I think this is the general malaise about, they've been blowing teams out in their 5 wins case here. It just feels like they thought they could turn up to Taranaki and just continue it. But this is a different Ayers team. And McCall just caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
He is aggressive. And that ball is anywhere within his no-fly zone. Picks up foul number 2.
There's a dogfight on their hands as Freeman off on that one. Let's see what the Nuggets have here. McCulloch, Withers. That's good. Todd Withers, that'll be a welcome bucket for him.
Nicely executed. The Nicole McCulloch there, coming off the on ball, and just a penetration, but just to really disrupt and see how things are going, draws defenders and finds Withers on the perimeter.
6 points, 8 boards as Freeman with the up fake gives it to Ty Wynyard. Carlin Davison now operating with Wynyard, doesn't need him, he's hit!
Carlin Davison
on the
is letting him know too.
With the 4-point play, Carlin Davison, tell him about it.
And the unfortunate foul there, speaking of getting your hand caught in the cookie jar.
I think we should say the Sal's Pizza Box now.
Sal's Pizza Box, I like it.
You like it?
I do, I like it a lot. Get your hand stuck in the cheese.
Getting your extra slice in there, maybe going for that garlic knot. As Davison makes the 4-point play.
The garlic knot is not gonna help the defense of the Nuggets right now. They need to get spicy themselves. You know, just going underneath the screen, giving the space, and that's probably a shot you're pretty happy taking. Carlin Davison off the dribble, but gets the contact, gets the bucket, and now the Airs have the lead in hand as well.
It's not really reading the scouting report because Carlin, he likes to shoot the 3, but he doesn't hit a whole lot of them. It's Withers, a little strong, and Davison's in the game now. Here we go.
Off balance on that shot. You can see him fading away. He needs to come up on target and stay on plane.
Hilliard turns the corner as Withers goes down, and he's staying down. And we got a whistle here as
really like that two-man action between Wynyard and Hilliard.
we just need to pick up the shot of Todd Withers because he went down in some pain. He's still down.
I feel as though he was just trying to sell the call on the screen, and I also feel as though he hasn't run into too many screens with the physicality of Ty Wynyard.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to Ty Wynyard.
That is a solid screen as Mackey slowly grabbing control. Never see. Oh, it looks like it got him in the hip.
That's a
might have been
a raw place to get hit.
That is a almost guaranteed dead leg. That is going to be some soreness and some tightness as the game goes forward. And there's nothing you can do except keep it loose, keep moving it. Otherwise, once you stop moving it, it tightens up immediately.
A 16-point third quarter for Trent Adam and the Airs. It's a nice look they're getting. Got some motivation out of Carlin Davison. 4-point play out of him. Some good rebounding as well. They're sticking to their roles. Good effort from, Trent Adam and the coaching staff.
Yeah, they haven't been flustered. You know, a couple of times it seemed like the Nuggets were going to take control of the game, but Taranaki has remained confident and consistent with what they want to do. You know, certainly haven't been playing at their highest level of efficiency offensively, but they're grinding it up. They're playing strong physical defense. They're doing enough in the possession game to keep themselves tight. And when they had a sniff of the lead here in the middle of the third period, they grabbed it.
So it will be McCall to get us back underway. McCall playing with the Kens Taipans in the Aussie NBL. Now the Nuggets bench is out there. Bardsley for the Nuggets. Nico McCulloch the starter. Aitchison off the bench. Timmins is out there with McCall as well. And McCulloch high arcing 3. Good closeout as well for the Airs though.
How to penetrate the zone, either with the pass or with the dribble. I can't just whip it around the perimeter and hope to make the defense adjust.
And Freeman with the call on him. When you're looking for the handoff and McCulloch goes down. That could have been really awkward, but he bounces back up. Davison, tough shot. Tough turnaround. Man, but they do have it.
No sense of urgency for the Nuggets. All the Naki side.
Hilliard left it short. Timmins with an easy board. Just bounced up for him here is Nico McCulloch. 3x3 teammate of Ty Wynyard at age group level. Did really well. Those guys. Here comes Carlin Davidson. Tajir McCall on him. And he fouls Carlin Davison, and Davison will go to the line.
Back to it. Making a little bit of a living there. At the moment. Foul in transition, chance to add to the three-point lead. Jerry McCall, I think, just having the conversation with Davison about, did I hit you? A little bit of slash of the face. And a lot of players out there having a yarn, it seems.
Always good to chat.
Why not? Get familiar with one another. Not sure what the delay is here. We're having some late substitutions.
Multiple subs in, but Carlin Davison at the line. Carlin Davison, he is a Otago high school product. Born and bred Taranaki. He's got some bounce. He just needs to harness those physical attributes he possesses. He's got all the tools. Sam Timmons faces the double team in here.
Well, count it.
Counter, and Andy goes down, trying real hard to find some sort of stout defensive position, but it just didn't work against the might of Sam Timmons.
I think the foul might be before the shot.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What's going on here? Can we?
Yeah, Timmons is, they got a discussion there between the two refs.
Not sure. So, okay, I think we're saying the basket doesn't count, and now we're going to have 2 free throws.
Yeah, it was before the shot, was it?
Well, that's a bit confusing, because if he's in the shooting motion, the basket counts, and if he's not in the shooting motion, the foul should be on the floor. But let's say we met somewhere in the middle.
Timmons looks good on the Rosine line. That first one.
Now he looks good.
And look at that smile.
That's a mouth guard.
That mouth guard does you no favors. Undermined everything I've said about you, Sam. He's good on the second as well. Nothing but net.
Big last 3.5 minutes. Both offenses are stagnated. Somebody needs to find a rhythm and start playing with a little bit of efficiency.
Carlin Davison looking at Withers, gave it up to Hilliard. Shima calls all over his hip. And there we got a rebound falling to McCall. Taj McCall gives it up to Withers. Williams. He of 20 points. Keith Williams. Tough acrobatic shot. Timmons gets the rebound. He'll go back to the line.
Well, great drive. Williams changing his body position in the air, trying to get the finish. Doesn't get the foul he wants, but love the activity by Withers, keeping it alive. And then Timmons, just right place, right time. Always good to have it fall right into the basket. Another couple of free throw attempts from the Rosine stripe coming his way. Can't get the first to hit.
7 points, 8 rebounds and assists as well for Sam Timmons.
3, 2, 1, Everard.
Gets 1 out of 2. Some substitutions coming in at the back out of screen, I believe.
This offensive rebounding game that we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, just the +1 advantage. This time it's to the Airs, 8-7. There's Carlin Davison. Hit on the hip on the drive.
Todd Withers a little perplexed by that call, and as the quarter comes to an end, we are running into the dances of the whistles as Todd Withers is rather confused.
Haven't seen a lot of Hayes Walker in this game.
He is. Looks to have lost some of his rotation minutes to the import duo.
Well, Hayes Walker, when you say he's lost his rotation minutes, he was averaging 26.
Yeah, and
That's quite a lot. He's only had about 2.5.
well, you know, he was starting at that point guard position, but Hilliard has come in to start at that area. They've moved Rogers to the point, and he has not got. Hayes Walker did see the court for a bit of time, but has not been leaned on very heavily.
Timmins, strong finish. There's no one who can handle Sam Timmins on the ears at the moment on the block.
Well, if you're going to front him, help side has to be there. They just weren't.
Oh, Hilliard literally just, yeah, he just threw that up.
Well, it gets to a spot and just lifts up that 15-footer. He makes it look very easy.
Aitchison can't get that with his long arms. High off the glass and in.
Hoovers that rebound in like a vacuum. Hearing a whistle, not sure what the call is.
Delay a game.
If it's a delay game, that would be the second.
Yeah, so it can't be.
Oh, it's a wet spot.
It's a wet spot. Withers, he wants the game to run.
Well, he wants the foul call. He felt hard done by, saying, if I'm getting hit while I'm laying the ball up, can I get a whistle? And the answer is no. You cannot.
He's incorrect. He wants some consistency. Roger stepping through. Withers has it. He gives it up to Nico McCulloch. Airs it back on defense though, but McCulloch drives, kicks it out. Timmins hasn't hit a lot of threes. Didn't hit a lot of the there, except for the outside of the right-hand side.
Fortunate miss there. The Nuggets had been executing well, and they've been closing these quarters well this game.
Tough turnover. Keith Williams. Oh, and one, Keith Williams. Aaron Bailey-Noel did a good job on the first attempt. He stuck with it though, did Williams. And he'll get another bucket and he'll head to the Brazilian foul line to shoot a foul shot.
Aaron Bailey-Noel, excellent body control not to foul and contest, but the contest takes him out of the play. Keith Williams, with that strong finishing ability he has, he just squares himself up so nicely to put himself in rebounding position as well. And due to that fact, he's got the chance to give his team a 2-point lead and himself 23 points if he makes the free throw. Anthony Hilliard, the leading scorer in the game with 24. 6 boards as well. Right behind him is Keith Williams. 22.
Williams. McCulloch.
Oh, I just couldn't get that one to drop. Decent look.
Roger with 6 seconds on it. On the shot clock, turns it over. Here's Aitchison looking for the trailer. That's McCulloch. He's hit by Telfer.
Free throws for him coming his way.
Nico McCulloch went down pretty heavy. Down heavily, and he is just gathering his thoughts.
Just taking some time to think about it. So many discussions with the refs.
A lot of dialogue tonight.
they need a panel or something, because everybody's got something to say.
I feel like there should be a tribunal.
Is there a timeout called? Not sure.
Wish we could get some fluidity to this game.
It is choppy.
Real choppy.
It's choppy enough that I'm starting to get a little seasick.
So will we foul shots? Nico McCulloch at the line. And in this game, Nico McCulloch, 4 of 13 from the field. It's been foul shots 4 of 5 for him. More whistles. That's something going on with the Ayers bench.
Not sure exactly what is going on. Sorry, we'll make some inquiries and try and sort it out.
got a spill, have we? Because the kids have just run out with a towel each.
This is where Richie Roger hit the deck earlier and was really upset about it, having lost his footing there.
What time do you need to be home? What time are you rostered on to, Bruno, on audio? We could be here. I've got half a packet of jet planes left. No, Bruno's on till midnight, okay? So we're good. The game might be over by then, Bruno, but you just leave everything up.
There's you know, when you see that slippery of a spot, what has often happened is a guy has gotten some kind of massage before the game, has some kind of oil on some part of his body, and when it hits the court, makes a really slippery spot that can't just get picked up by the towels. But hopefully they have sorted it now.
Everyone's out there doing.
And,
was it Hilliard who went down there?
It was just Richie Roger just went down hard.
It was Richie Roger, you're right.
Just the last play, but I think whatever had happened was caused previous to that. It is similar to an area where Withers went down earlier as well.
I guess the good thing is they're not looking up at the roof.
It's true. There's no rain dripping in. This isn't, what is this, the NBA? Is this the Mavericks?
Where are we, American Airlines Arena? Are we in the Illawarra Hawks?
Illawarra, never. I believe last year happened in Dunners as well. Dunedin had a bit of a...
Shout out to the Breakers social media account. I'm sure they'd love to tag the Illawarra Hawks in again. Pretty unlucky, the Breakers, with that game.
Never good to get a rain delay. In basketball. Okay, so here we are again. And
we got a broom.
We've got some new equipment. And I have to say, I did say a week ago that while these kids are game, I wasn't sure they were up to the mopping duties that have been bestowed upon them.
So now we have some sort of semblance of order to the rosters around the Sal's NBL case. Who do you think will be the teams that miss out on that top six? Because I look at that table, and I can't name 4 teams.
No, it's jumbled. I mean, it does. You know, I wish them nothing but the best, but it does look like the Manawatu is probably one team for sure on the outside looking in. But then you look at the other teams that are fighting there. Wellington expecting Xavier Cooks next week. Supposedly the ticket is booked, and if he's not in the NBA, I would expect him here. So Wellington going to be improved. They're going to be fighting for that spot.
Imagine if they miss out, though.
I bet a lot of teams imagine that right now.
Imagine if the Saints miss out. Imagine if Xavier Cooks, he doesn't come. He's called up. Maybe he's got a Europe out clause, perhaps. NBA Summer League, perhaps.
Yeah. Late in the season to try and find a replacement for talent at that level.
Yeah. Imagine if they miss out on top 6, because it has been extended from the top 4. No straight semi-finals. The top 2 teams go to the semi-finals, and the next 4 positions, 2 to 6, have one-off elimination games to go through to the semi-finals. As Carla Davison plays some basketball. Finally, the ball goes through the rim, and we count 2 points.
Strong attack there. I thought he was going to try and finish that on the rim. Instead, shows the soft touch with the finger roll.
Timmons sees a double team instantly.
Jeez.
And Freeman, like a ram raid, came in and took all his vapes.
Everybody out there is saying it's not a foul, but it certainly looked like one as we see a powerful, determined drive by Carlin Davison there.
I think my favorite bench in all of the NBL, of the Sal's NBL, is the young Ayers players on that baseline where Carla was. They sit down there, and they are hyped for their more senior teammates.
Is Davison one of the senior teammates? Because he must be one of the younger ones.
I hope he might well be. One of the rotations.
Timmons making a living from the line down the stretch here of the third. As this has been a significantly stretched out final 2 minutes.
You see a shot of him there in the back. Richie Roger, under 30 to go in the third quarter.
Had the chance for a 2-for-1, didn't take the early shot, so need to stretch this possession out now.
Freeman.
Oh, nobody wants the ball for the Nuggets.
Somebody wanted to run, but nobody had the ball. And they make the Nuggets pay with a 3 from Richie Roger.
The mental errors are astounding for the Nuggets today.
Sam Timmons needs to get it up. And that's just an ugly finish for the Nuggets. The Airs finish strong. They take back the lead. A really good quarter for the Taranaki Airs. They put 26 on the Nuggets. We'll be back soon for the 4th. What the Nuggets are averaging, just a shade under 83 a game. Who will step up for the Nuggets?
Well, we spoke about the trio, Withers, McCall, and Timmons, their lack of production in the first half. Only 1 for 10 from the field, not much improvement. Just 4 for 20 now. They need to step up as a collective.
Yes, they're going to get it done. Another turnover. Nuggets not treasuring the ball like a Nugget. And they get the stop there. I think it bounced off Ty Whitty's head.
Falcon.
Keith Williams on the reverse.
Ooh.
Wowee.
It's pretty. The thing of joy is a beauty forever. Keith Williams with the reverse.
He now has 24, 11 for 19. Comes Carmen Davison. Davison kicks it out. Javante Douglas has been quiet through the middle of the game. Steps into a 3 and they have a 2-point lead, do the Airs.
Sat on the bench with a bit of foul trouble, found some space there, and makes the Nuggets pay.
Yeah, Javante Douglas has 4 fouls. As Withers can't get that to go down.
That's a set play off that double on ball, screen to screener action.
Withers has 3 fouls and he goes down. And Douglas is going to take advantage of that and knocks down another 3. And Todd Withers is hot right now.
Well, he's incensed. He got tripped by a screener, and that's why that guy, the man he's defending, is open. So he's wondering, why is that not a foul?
He is a frustrated man in this game.
And I don't believe that's a timeout. I believe they just blew the whistle to wipe it down the court again and have a discussion.
You can see here on the GJ Gardner replay, Douglas free.
And the lead extends. Naki taking control in a surprising fashion over the Nuggets.
6-2 start to this, excuse me, 9-2 start to this 4th quarter. And as McCulloch tried to regain the dribble, he is fouled. And it will be on, I believe, Ty Williams.
Well, from my eye, the Nuggets need some attacks on the rim. They need to stop settling for jump shots. Stop trying to force the pass, but just put pressure on the rim off the bounce.
Withers, corner 3. Great closeout from Scott Telfer.
There's too much focus on the refs, not enough focus on the play. Need to play some basketball, both teams.
Hayes Walker is in the game. Javante Douglas is feeling it. His 8 straight points for the Ears.
Just too easy. And Sam Timmons doesn't make him change direction whatsoever. Straight line drive again.
He's quickly out to 15. And oh, we've got a wedgie on the foul. Taj McCall, it's all happening at TSB Stadium in Taranaki. With GJ Gardner replay, Javante Douglas just gliding to the rim.
And the late challenge by Withers, but where's the early defenders taking off those drives, sliding over, taking away the basket? The defensive effort and tenacity that has been the blueprint for the Nuggets' 5-game winning streak has gone missing here in the last few minutes.
3, 2, 1, and
This is the second. Douglas with the rebound. Man of the moment, Hayes Walker. Here he is again. Can't get the roll, gets his own rebound. 10 points to start the 4th quarter by Javante Douglas.
Oh, just love the way he's involving himself in the game.
And he's getting it's a timeout. He thought he was getting a technical.
Yeah, with good
I've
reason.
seen everything.
It kind of looked like he was getting one. You were right in his face.
That is classic NBL.
Well, how about this start to the quarter by the Airs? They have dominated wholly and fully, minus Marcel Jones, not even at full strength. But this last couple of minutes, they have just shown a level of desire, quite frankly, that Otago has been unwilling to match.
They have smacked the Nuggets in the mouth in the second half. They have fought for everything. Trent Adam, Ty Wynyard. Just look at Anthony Hilliard's eyes. His pupils are dilated. He is dialed in. Javante Douglas has stepped up in the 4th. And it takes some things to impress the Ears crowd, though.
They're waiting till the end. They've seen the story once or twice before.
Well, they know the Nuggets, they're a dangerous team. They can fill it up. We talked about shifting gears. Just might need to find the clutch.
Well, and this is where the reliance on 5 guys really does come to. This is the second game of a doubleheader. This is a team that's starting to look a little fatigued, and they've got really nobody else they can go to that can ignite the offense. It's these 5 guys. They have to get it done. Big 3.
3 is good.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, I didn't like the offense. There's no penetration in the zone, but shot makers got to make shots, and Nika McCulloch does so there.
Coming off a win against the Southland Sharks, the Nuggets. As Javante Douglas proves that he's human.
And we see a switch there. Tajiri McCall has taken that matchup now and put the pressure upon himself.
Who's going to match up with Keith Williams? Will that be 2 shots?
Yeah, I don't think he got the shot off, but they're saying he did. Also, didn't shoot it, but he will get to the free throw line. There we see the triple.
Kalak.
Tried to lean into it, tried to convince it. Keith Williams back to the line. A valuable little 5-point run this would be for the Nuggets to steady the ship.
Keith Williams tonight, 25 points, 11 of 19. He is proving a handful. 3 offensive rebounds for his 4 overall rebounds, 2 steals as well. Makes the second. Ayers' lead is 3. Richie Roger. Withers on Javante Douglas. Now the switch has McCall on him, and a turnover. Keith Williams in the open court with Hilliard. And there's the strength of Keith Williams.
Oh, the unforced errors again. Taranaki looking so strong offensively when they get the ball to Douglas, but the defensive effort has picked up.
Again, out of that timeout, Brett Matahade He's fired his team up. They have shifted a gear here as Keith Williams has taken it upon himself. Did he walk? He did.
Wow, that's a lot of contact for a travel to be called. As Keith Williams heads the other way as the Nuggets cut it down to 1 point. And we have seen a lack of execution since the Naki grabbed that big lead. Can they change direction one more time?
6 of 24. Oh! Javante Douglas with 12 points in the quarter.
Get this guy the ball. That's how you execute right now.
Here comes Nico McCulloch on the reverse. Trading buckets. Finally, this game has come to life.
Love the speed with which he's moving without the basketball. And Timmons draws 3 defenders and holds them on the interior because they're so worried about him, opening up that layup opportunity for McCulloch.
Yeah, just 25% three-point shooting. As Richie Roger kisses it off the glass on a little runner.
That looked fortunate. that looked like he was in between shots and somehow found a way.
So 2 10s go at it. Excuse me, there's McCulloch. He's 0-0 as Richie Roger went over the top of him.
Well, I think Roger just a little aggressive there. That would have been a short jump ball had he not made that contact going over. We see a look at Javante Douglas again. Strong drive, just simple action that the Nuggets were slow to recover from.
Sam Timmons didn't want to pick up his 3rd foul on that one. I would have given him a fair contest on that one.
You know, you got 2. You can go ahead and pick up 3. I think he didn't want to end up on a poster.
Keith Williams with all the time in the world. Bounce goes up and it falls to Ty Wynyard. Here comes Douglas. Out of the 4th quarter. He just
oh my, the block and one.
He lifted his, surely he lifted his arm.
I thought that was a pretty obvious charge.
The referee has a better angle than us.
But I also didn't think he was in the shooting motion when the contact happened. So to call that continuation is a bit surprising, but fortunate for the Airs. Here we see the contacts there. Yeah. Tough pill to swallow if you're a Nuggets fan, but if you're the Airs, you're like, let's do it again. Keep getting Douglas the ball. He is unstoppable.
Certainly is. Javante Douglas. He's been with the Rams in 2018, all NBL team.
A chance to reach 22 points here.
Tipped in. Ty Wynyard.
Pumped about it too, the effort, the enthusiasm. Taranaki trying to get 2 in a row, have wrestled control of the game once again, and the Nuggets are running out of seconds on the clock with just over 5 minutes to play.
14 for Javante Douglas before he went to the line.
One-on-one opportunity.
That drops for the Nuggets.
A fortuitous bounce. Big shot there, 5 points to lead. Can they start to string together stops?
Douglas to Carlin Davison. Ty Wynyard. Power layup.
Well, you've got defenders around the ball locked in, and then you've got the weak side defenders away from it not locked in. The timely cut by Wynyard is rewarded.
Aitchison looking for a cutter. The call. What a great 3-point shooter. Great rebound from Aitchison.
Aitchison with multiple looks.
And Aitchison's called for the foul.
Oh, that's... Yeah, the whistle's been at times perplexing. Love the effort by Aitchison there. Good looks, but it's starting to look like the Naki's game to grab.
$16 for Douglas now.
Why would you leave that guy?
Why not?
That just still talking to officials. they just need to worry about execution. Need to worry about guarding the guy. He's got 14 this quarter.
14, excuse me, yeah. In this quarter for Devontae Douglas. 86-79. Williams. He's got a little cold. Here is Douglas. 3.5 to go in this game. Hilliard, he's in on the action. It's a 10-point game for the Airs.
Oh, just like that, control is taken. Timely offensive explosion by the Airs here in the fourth quarter. Has just blown the Nuggets, the heavily favored Nuggets coming in. It's straight out of the Alpine Mountains. And with just 3:27 to play, I do not think there's enough time for the Nuggets to find the missing level of energy and get back in this ball game. What a fourth quarter by Devontae Douglas.
14 of the Airs 23 in this quarter. Gives them a 10-point lead. What can Brent Matahari and the Nuggets get out?
How about Anthony Hilliard, 27 points, 7 boards.
Taranaki with a +4 rebound advantage. It's all tied up at 11 on the O-glass. 9 steals apiece. Shooting 46% from the floor.
Tajiri McCall, 0 for. Hasn't hit a bucket today. Wow, just 3 points.
Did not expect that.
All from the line.
The Airs have been good from deep. 11 of 26, 42%.
Just 9 points for Todd Withers, 2 for 10, 1 for 9 from the three-point line.
He loves the three ball.
Hopefully for the Nuggets fans, it loves him back, because that's what they need right now.
Opportunity missed for the Nuggets. Carlin Davison slapped away by Withers on the glass. And here comes McCall. Lays it up and in. 3 minutes to go.
Lots of contact on that finish, goes uncalled. Still enough time left if they can get a stop.
Talfa misses a bunny.
Oh, that's a bad miss. That is one that you will wake up with nightmares if you lose the game.
Oh no, Keith Williams just hang on to it too late there.
Keith Williams out there looking for the invisible man on these last couple of passes.
Oh, the Airs catch a break after Talfa blew that layup. Time is not on the side of the Nuggets. Hilliard turns the corner. And McCall is called for the foul.
Well, 2.5 left. McCall having a conversation as we see Telfer check out of the game after doing a good contribution defensively. Game icing free throw opportunities for Hilliard here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hilliard is 28 along with Keith Williams for the Nuggets, but those two men on screen. Hilliard in the first half, and then Devontae Douglas in the fourth quarter. Bulk of his points. 2/3 of it, in fact. 14 points in this quarter. Back to a 10-point lead for the Airs.
Interesting to see if the Nuggets have something in them here. With a couple minutes left. And shots like that with no crash shows me they don't. They are looking like they're happy to get on the plane with one win from this road trip right now.
And Marcel Jones as well. As Devontae Douglas taking over. 16 points in the quarter for him. McCall trying to make it happen with the left, and he does. It's pretty. Might be too little, too late, though.
Yeah, most definitely a bit late in this one. The shot clock is your friend. Use every second of it if you're an Air. Well, that could be 3 seconds if Wynyard doesn't get out. He does.
Deep three. Front of the rim. Keith Williams Here's Withers. He's 1 for 9. 1 for 10 now from deep.
Well, that is the way the ball was bouncing for the Nuggets today. And how about the Taranaki Mountain Airs? Right, I keep saying Mountain Airs because it's still in my head, but it's just the Taranaki Airs.
I'll drop the mountain.
I think the mountain's still there.
It's definitely still there.
But what a performance. Back-to-back home victories for them.
Got to get a shot up with 2 on the shot clock. Banks it in, why not? Javante Douglas. What a fourth quarter.
And it's all smiles for the Airs. Javante Douglas, 26 points to go along with 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Had the foul trouble, 4 fouls, played with him in the fourth quarter remarkably well, and delivers a victory to the Airs home crowd for the second time in as many weeks.
Opened the app and said, yes, the bank is open on a Sunday night. It's just a massive quarter for Javante Douglas.
Taranaki getting it done. Building the foundation for something that they thought might have taken a little longer. Well, the foundation's looking built. They might need to start putting up some framing.
It's just the game the Sharks kind of had when they got the win. They had 97 against the Sharks in the win. Trent Adam would be happy with the production of his team and his 2 imports, Hilliard and Javante Douglas. 26 points.
And short-handed as well. And they were still hoping Marcel Jones would be included in the roster this afternoon.
Withers just hasn't been his game. Actually, Roger trying to get it over. Why not?
Here we go.
19-point fourth quarter for Javante Douglas.
Wow, what a performance. To come out and, struggle for the first 3 quarters, but to play like that in the fourth, to have no fear and really just strap that W on your back and bring it to your squad.
Wynyard. There it is. As Javante Douglas is fouled, he'll go to the line to shoot 2 for 21 to get in the game. In the fourth quarter.
That's pretty good. That would be pretty good. That's a pretty good fourth. What a performance.
Left it short.
No, he doesn't want the 21. He just wants the W.
Just wants the 20.
Well, several performances
Nope.
for the Naki worth mentioning.
Doesn't want any of the 20.
But Douglas's was by far the match winner.
Nuggets handed a spanking in this fourth quarter. It was tight until Javante Douglas took it on himself. The Nuggets would dribble it out. They split the pair of games in round 5, and that will do it for round 5. Quite the fourth quarter, 19 from that man in the black singlet, Javante Douglas. What a game he had as he embraces Todd Withers, Brent Matahare. Go back to the drawing board. And they scored the points, but they could not get the stops. They looked disjointed, a little sluggish. Coming up from the south, making their way through up into Taranaki on a Sunday afternoon. Late tip. That double header, Casey. And they got to go back to the drawing board because the Nuggets had the Giants at home next.
Yeah, quick turnaround after a difficult doubleheader on the road. Started down south in Inverse against the Sharks where they picked up a huge win. But all that travel, it looks like they might have left the jump shots on the airplane on the flight up. In the overhead compartment, somebody call lost property because they were not there today.
There's your top scorers. And that is a nice 19 from Nico McCulloch, 14 from Sam Timmins. It wasn't really needed in this game. Gets another double-double for him. 11 rebounds. Ty Wynion had 11 rebounds as well. Ty also getting the job done with the assist. Cullen Davidson 5. Taj McCall influential with the pass, but neither him nor Withers could get it going.
And unfortunately 5 turnovers for McCall as well. On a day where he shot just 2 for 8 from the field.
Ty Wynion.
Steals, yeah.
5 steals for the center. Great heads. He's in great form, Ty Wynion.
Love to see that activity and not scoring the ball well, but still remain involved.
Here are the first 3 games of round 6. Southland will host Nelson, the Giants and the Sharks from ILT Stadium, Southland. And in Otago, the Rams and the Saints from Christchurch Arena in Christchurch. Now Hawks and Tuatara to start you off in round 6. The Sal's NBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes, just heating up. What a league this is turning into be. What a tremendous output from the Airs as they shake hands with people on the front row there. And they are the winners, 96-83 over the Otago Nuggets.